They all stood together laughing, until your family member exposed what you truly are. Picture this moment. You're surrounded by people you trust. Everyone is having a good time. The atmosphere is light and happy. Then suddenly, someone from your own family decides to reveal something about you that you thought was safe. The laughter stops. Eyes turn toward you. The mood shifts completely. What was once warm becomes cold and judging. But here's what they don't want you to know. What your family member exposed wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was actually something powerful. Something that made them uncomfortable because they recognized what you really are. That moment of exposure was the universe showing you your true spiritual nature. The silence that followed was deafening. You could feel every pair of eyes examining you, like you were some kind of strange creature they'd never seen before. Your heart pounded in your chest. Your face burned with embarrassment. The people you thought knew and accepted you suddenly seemed like strangers looking at something they didn't understand. In that moment, you felt completely alone, betrayed by your own blood, exposed and vulnerable in the worst possible way. You probably went home that night replaying the scene over and over, wondering why someone who was supposed to love and protect you would do such a thing, questioning whether what they revealed was really true about you. Maybe you even started to believe there was something wrong with you, something that needed to be hidden or fixed. But what if I told you that moment wasn't about shame at all? What if that family member actually recognized something extraordinary in you? Something so powerful that it made them feel small and afraid? What if they exposed your greatest strength, not your biggest weakness? Your family member saw something in you that most people spend their whole lives searching for. They saw your spiritual gifts awakening, your natural ability to see beyond the surface of things. Family members are often the first to notice when someone is different. They live with you every day. They watch how you react to situations. They see how you pick up on things others miss. They notice when you seem to know things you shouldn't know, and this terrifies them. Most people are comfortable living on the surface level. They don't want to dig deeper into life's mysteries. They prefer their safe, predictable world where everything can be explained by logic and reason. But you've always been different. You feel things more deeply. You notice energy shifts in rooms. You can sense when something is wrong, even when everyone else seems fine. You've probably had dreams that felt more real than your waking life. These aren't flaws or problems to be fixed. These are spiritual gifts, natural abilities that connect you to something bigger than the physical world around you. Your family member exposed these gifts because they couldn't ignore them anymore. And deep down, that scared them. Like this video right now, if you've ever felt betrayed or misunderstood by your own family members, that moment of exposure was actually your spiritual awakening being announced to the world. Your family member became an unwilling messenger, revealing what your soul already knew, but your mind hadn't fully accepted yet. Spiritually gifted people are always targeted first by those closest to them. It's not personal, even though it feels that way. It's fear. Fear of what they don't understand. Fear of being left behind as you grow beyond their limited understanding of reality. Think back to your childhood. Were you the one who always seemed to know when someone was lying? Did you feel uncomfortable in certain places for no logical reason? Were you drawn to spiritual topics or had experiences others called just your imagination? Did you cry easily when watching sad movies or news stories? Did animals seem to trust you more than other people? Did you often feel like you were watching life from the outside, never quite fitting in with your peers? These weren't signs of weakness or being too sensitive. These were signs of your spiritual gifts developing, your natural empathic abilities, your connection to higher consciousness. Family systems don't know how to handle someone who operates on a different frequency. When one person starts awakening spiritually, it threatens the whole family's comfortable illusions about reality, so they try to pull you back down to their level through shame, ridicule, and exposure. Comment below and share your experience of being called too sensitive or misunderstood by your family members. Spiritually gifted individuals first because they feel the most threatened. They've built their identity around knowing you a certain way. When you start changing and growing beyond their understanding, it shakes their entire worldview. Your spiritual growth holds up a mirror to their own limitations. It shows them what they're not willing to explore about themselves. This makes them deeply uncomfortable. So instead of looking inward, they attack outward. There's a psychological phenomenon where people will try to cut down anyone who rises above their level. In families, this happens when one member starts awakening spiritually while others remain stuck in old patterns. Your intuitive insights threaten their carefully constructed reality. When you point out things they don't want to see, they label you as troublemaker. When you refuse to participate in family dysfunction, they call you difficult. Throughout history, spiritual teachers and prophets were rejected by their own people first. Jesus was rejected in his hometown. Buddha's family tried to prevent his spiritual journey. This pattern repeats because spiritual truth threatens those living in spiritual sleep. Your family member exposed what you are because your very presence was making them question their own choices. Your sensitivity was highlighting their numbness. Your awareness was spotlighting their denial. They couldn't handle the contrast, so they tried to shame you back into conformity. But spiritual gifts can't be shamed away. They can only be suppressed temporarily or embraced fully. If this message is helping you understand your spiritual journey, you can support this work with super thanks of $5, $10, $20 or more. Your support helps us reach more spiritually, awakening souls who need to hear this truth. Type awakened in the comments to claim your spiritual gifts and release family shame. Let's talk about the specific gifts your family member actually exposed that day. These are the abilities that made them so uncomfortable they felt compelled to shame you publicly. Your empathic abilities. You feel what others feel, sometimes so strongly it overwhelms you. Family members call this being too emotional, because your feelings make them confront their own buried emotions they'd rather ignore. Your intuitive insights. You know things without being told. You can sense when someone is lying or when something bad is about to happen. Family calls this paranoid or making things up because your accuracy threatens their comfortable denial. Your ability to see through false personas. You see who people really are beneath their masks. This makes pretenders very nervous, especially family members who've built their identity on fake images. Your natural healing presence. People feel calmer and more peaceful around you. You're the one family members call when they're in crisis, but also the one they blame when your truth-telling makes them uncomfortable. Your strong sense of justice. You can't stand watching people be treated unfairly. You speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Family labels this as causing drama, when really you're just unwilling to enable dysfunction. Your connection to spiritual realms. You've had experiences others call impossible, dreams that came true, sensing spirits or energy, knowing things before they happen. Each of these gifts threatens people who prefer to live in the shallow end of consciousness. Your family member exposed these abilities because they couldn't deny them anymore, and that terrified them. Type I embrace my gifts to affirm your spiritual abilities and release shame about being different. Your family's betrayal isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a much larger pattern designed to keep spiritually gifted people small and hidden. Our education system teaches children to ignore their intuition and trust only logic. Students who show spiritual sensitivity are labeled as problems or put on medication to dull their awareness. The medical establishment pathologizes spiritual experiences. Visions become hallucinations. Spiritual awakening becomes mental illness. Natural psychic abilities become disorders to be treated. Religious institutions often suppress individual spiritual connection. They want you dependent on their interpretations, instead of trusting your direct experience with the divine. Media and entertainment mock spiritual sensitivity. Empaths are portrayed as weak, Intuitive people are shown as delusional. Anyone claiming psychic abilities is ridiculed. There are economic reasons for this suppression too. Spiritually aware people are harder to control. They question authority. They see through manipulation. They can't be easily convinced to buy things they don't need or support systems that don't serve them. Your family members' betrayal was their unconscious participation in this larger system of spiritual suppression. They were programmed to fear and shame spiritual gifts. So when they saw yours emerging, they reacted with the same fear-based conditioning. But understanding this pattern means you can break free from it. You don't have to accept their limited view of who you are. If you're ready to fully embrace your spiritual gifts, consider supporting this channel with super thanks. Your contribution helps us create more content for spiritually awakening souls who need guidance and validation on their journey. Share this video with someone who needs to hear that their spiritual sensitivity is a gift, not a flaw. It's time to completely reframe what happened that day. Your family member didn't expose your weakness. They announced your strength to the world. Every spiritual gift they revealed was actually a superpower they couldn't understand or handle. Your sensitivity is your ability to navigate energy and emotion. Your intuition is your connection to higher wisdom. Your empathy is your bridge to healing others. Start affirming these truths daily. My sensitivity is my strength. My intuition guides me perfectly. My spiritual gifts are blessings, not burdens. I trust my inner knowing above others' opinions. Set clear boundaries with family members who can't honor your spiritual nature. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because you share DNA. Choose relationships that celebrate your gifts instead of shaming them. Find your spiritual tribe. Connect with others who understand your experience. Online communities, spiritual groups, metaphysical meetups. Seek out people who speak your language and validate your reality. Trust your intuition completely, especially when it contradicts what others tell you about yourself. Your inner guidance system is more accurate than their external judgments. Develop your gifts intentionally. Meditate regularly. Practice energy healing. Study spiritual texts. Work with crystals, tarot, or whatever calls to you. The more you honor your gifts, the stronger they become. Remember that your spiritual awakening often triggers others to examine their own lives. When they attack you for being different, they're really fighting their own resistance to growth. Your exposure was your liberation. Own it completely. The journey from shame to spiritual empowerment doesn't happen overnight, but it always begins with the same first step. Accepting that what happened was meant to happen. That moment of exposure was divine timing. Your soul was ready to step into its power, and the universe used your family member as an unwitting catalyst. Sometimes we need external pressure to push us toward our true destiny. The pain you felt was real and valid. Honor that pain. It was the breaking open that allowed your spiritual light to shine through, like a seed that must crack before it can grow. Your comfortable illusions about family acceptance had to shatter before you could embrace your authentic self. As you heal from the betrayal, you'll notice your spiritual gifts growing stronger. The shame energy that once suppressed them transforms into empowerment energy that amplifies them. You become more intuitive, more sensitive to energy, more connected to your higher guidance. You'll start attracting people who celebrate these gifts instead of fearing them. Your true spiritual family will recognize and honor what your blood family couldn't understand. These connections will feel deeper and more authentic than any relationship based on obligation or tradition. Subscribe and turn on notifications to receive more guidance on your spiritual awakening journey. You deserve support that celebrates your gifts, not shames them. That day when they all stood laughing until your family member exposed what you truly are, that was the day your real life began. What they revealed wasn't your shame. It was your power, your spiritual gifts, your connection to something greater than their limited understanding of reality. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not the problem in your family system. You are the light that makes others aware of their own darkness, and that's exactly what this world needs. Your spiritual sensitivity is your superpower. Your intuitive abilities are your guidance system. Your empathic nature is your healing gift to the world. Stand tall in who you are. The right people will celebrate every aspect of your spiritual nature. Your true family, the souls who truly see you, are waiting to welcome you home. You are chosen. You are powerful. You are exactly who you're meant to be.